100 years from the end of the First World War, the media has been full of the commemoration of the dead. But why is there so little discussion of how the war ended and who ended it? In a BBC educational resource meant for school children, we learnt that Germany lost the war simply because Britain and France defeated them. This article includes an understated reference to strikes in the German Navy. But German sailors weren't on strike, they had mutinied. And this is how the war really ended. They armed themselves and headed inland, determined to stop a war that had killed 10 million people. As they came closer to Berlin, the city erupted in strikes and demonstrations against the war. The German Kaiser abdicated, the government collapsed, the war was over. World War I was ended by a wave of revolutions that swept the continent. First in Ireland in 1916, then Russia in 1917, and finally in Germany in 1918. In cities across the continent, including Glasgow, there were riots and strikes against the war. At the front, soldiers rebelled. By 1917, half of the French army were routinely refusing to follow orders. But official remembrance by the state and politicians obscures this history of revolutions. People are right to remember the suffering and loss of the war. Those who were killed in a war for the interests of the rich and powerful are remembered as patriotic martyrs. Those ordinary soldiers and workers who ended the war by turning on their own governments are forgotten, because their actions represent a danger to the powerful today.